I'm Rick. Rick Derringer is my name. The first night I was invited to a party. They said, we're going to a party. And I said, okay, that's cool. And we got to the party, and all of a sudden it was going on for a while, and I realized, oh, this is a multi-level marketing thing. Right away I went, oh, I got this, multi-level marketing. And I listened to the stories for a while, and all of a sudden I realized, wait a second, this is coffee that helps you lose weight. And I went, this is like the best product I've ever heard about in my life. Really, I went, everybody drinks coffee and everybody nowadays wants to lose weight. This is like the best thing I've ever heard about in my life. And I had a cup of coffee, and for whatever reason, whether we jumped on the bandwagon or not is irrelevant at this point. But when we got home, Jenna said, well, why don't you run out and get us some food? You eat at the little restaurant where we're chosen to go, and bring some home for me. So I sat down, ordered some food, and the food came to the table, and all of a sudden I went, man, this looks like a lot of food. I went, wow. And all of a sudden it dawned on me, oh, I had a cup of that weight loss coffee. And I went, this stuff must really work, because really it looked like a lot of food. And I couldn't finish it all of a sudden, and I realized I had a cup of that coffee. So I realized right away, this stuff must work. And so we started drinking the coffee or tea. But I was told, I'm a diabetic, so I was told that the tea specifically really helps your diabetes situation. So I pretty much drank the tea, and didn't really think much about my weight, but I'm an entertainer to it, so I have to watch my weight. So I was hoping that it would really help my weight, but I pretty much drank the tea because I'm also a diabetic, and I was told it would help my diabetes. So within a week, all of a sudden I got up one morning and I felt like, man, my glucose numbers, if you're a diabetic, you get this feeling when they go low, when your numbers are low, you get all spacey and airheaded, and I went, these numbers are low. They gotta be low. I better check. After a while, you don't check your numbers anymore because you pretty much know where they are. They're high. They're always a little too high. You're always fighting. You're fighting this battle, and you pretty much don't even bother checking them. You go to your doctor, and the doctor says, "Have you been checking your numbers?" And you go, "No." But I knew I better check my numbers to see what they are. I checked my numbers. It was 48, and I went like, "This is pretty low. Give me a Coca-Cola and fast." And then the next day, all of a sudden, it was the same thing again. And I went, so right away I realized, well, I better cut back on my pills, I better cut back on my insulin. I had to start cutting back on all my diabetes medications. And that pretty much is what I had to do. So for the last couple weeks, I've taken way less medication in general. And because of my diabetes, I had an eye issue, a macular eye issue. And I get a shot in my eyeball. Everybody goes, whoa, that doesn't sound too good, but it's fun to tell people about. So at any rate, I was due for my shot this morning, and I went into my doctor, and he looked in my eye and he said, wow, it looks much better in there. What have you been doing? And I said, well, it's funny you ask, because he said your glucose, your diabetes must be better. You must be somehow doing something that's better. And I said, well, my numbers have been a lot better lately. I've had to cut back on all my insulin. I had to cut back on my pills because my numbers have been much better. You're right. He said, well, I can see it in your eye. I can see it. It looks much better. And I said, he wanted to know what I've been doing. I said, well, the only real definitive thing that I've been doing that seemingly would make any difference is I've been drinking this, it's called weight loss tea, but they say it's really, the tea specifically will help my diabetes. And obviously it's been really helping. I've had to cut back on my insulin. I've had to cut back on my pills, and he said, well, it obviously seems to be helping. I can see that in your eye. In fact, rather than giving you a shot every month, we're now going to change, and we're only going to give you a shot now every 6 weeks, because obviously you don't need a shot every month now. In fact, I've made a resolution. He's a little overweight himself. My doctor, he said, I've made a resolution for this year, this new year. I'm going to have to lose some weight. Do you think you could sell me a box of that tea? So I had to deliver today a box of the tea to my doctor, because he's interested now in the same stuff that whatever I'm doing, he wants to do the same thing.
That's awesome.
So there you go.
Thank you, Rick.
That's my situation.